The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the Happiness Jungle with yours truly, the Chief Happiness Officer, Lyn-Dee Eldridge. And today we have the man Maverick. I am telling you, I am sparked and on fire, or as she would like to say,
fabulous, fierce, and on fire.
Miss Cami Baker's in the house with me today. Ladies and gentlemen, and the name of our show today is Think Like a Maverick.
Think like a Maverick.
And I can't do that. I'm just...
I can't wait to get that jacket. I'm going to get a bomber jacket.
A bomber jacket.
Like Maverick on Top Gun. It's going to have the Top Gun and the Maverick and the whole thing. I'm going to wear it on stage. Can't wait.
Yep. And I want to talk about the first time you and I met because it had nothing to do with business, but it did and it didn't. It's really funny because now we're friends. So this is like a whoop.
And that's where one of my sayings came from, and we did a video on that.
Yep.
Very interesting. Guys, let's not look at the company they represent.
Very interesting.
Let's focus on the company they keep.
Yeah, I want everybody to understand. Cami Baker called me about
3, 4?
I want to say 3, 4 years ago, so we're spot on. And when you called me at that time, you were an active realtor.
I was.
And I was an active network marketer.
You were? Oh boy, were we both? We were in shark mode. Dun dun dun.
We
dun.
were.
We smelled the blood in the water. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, we were looking for our next clients, our next business partners, what's going to channel, and you were doing cold calls. I want to talk about that because there are so many people that need to understand that you got to start somewhere in business. And when you start somewhere in business, it's being your own self-promoter and doing things that make you step outside of the box that you most normally would not want to do. You picked up an expired listing sheet and you just went, go. I want you to share that because people go, why would I want to call people that aren't interested?
In order to have what others will never have, you must do what others will never do. Yeah. For you to have what you've never had, you have to do something different than what you're currently doing.
Right.
Right? And expired listings, I could go on and on about why I love expired listings. Our story is just a very interesting segue from that about how calling and they're just people. It's like they versus us kind of a conversation. And it's not that. It's we. We are human beings. They have a need that was not fulfilled by the last agent for whatever reason. And we're simply stepping in to help. And so when I called you, like I've called thousands, tens of thousands of others in the past, the funny thing was she was good on the phone. She was good on the phone, and she could tell I was good on the phone. And because she could tell I was good on the phone, we were like, wonder what's going on here.
So true.
So I went over to do a listing presentation with you, and you thought, well, I'll show her the business plan.
That's right.
So I showed her mine, she showed me hers. And even though the timing wasn't right for either of us, for either of those opportunities, because we weren't so focused on the company that we represented, and we were focused on the company that we keep, we stayed in touch, and now we're sharing stages and sharing TV shows.
We've rebranded ourselves.
Rebranded ourselves. Guys, branding is so huge. Focus on the one thing that will always be consistent, and that is you. Your company can change. Your company name can change. The only thing that's been consistent for me over all the years of my business is CamiBaker.com. CamiBaker.com has never changed and never will. Branding.
And that's amazing. So we met when you were an active realtor. I was an active network marketer. Both of us were very, very successful. And now I'm in my 50s. I'm 55.
48.
And
Proud of it.
Oh my goodness, you even said your age.
48. Hell yeah.
Bam. Okay. So here we are in our late 40s, our mid 50s, and we decided that we're not passionate about what we were doing. It wasn't serving us anymore. And this goes with not only business, but relationships as well, because people will come and go in your lives. If it's not serving you, it's not serving you. You need to learn how to rebrand yourself, whether it's for personal or for business. For us, it was a business shift, and now I have the happiness jungle, and you have millions to
mingle to
millions,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And it's as powerful as could be because we've taken stuff from our past and we've generated new beginnings. I want to talk about this because you really are the Queen Maverick.
Well, thank you. You know, I was thinking about this the other day. All the businesses that I've had that have been successful started out with me doing something smaller. Example, when I was in my 20s, I worked at a lot of bars. Worked at 17, 18, 19. Worked at bars, bartending, waitressing. When I was 23, I owned a bar.
Oh, wow.
I owned a bar from 23 to 30.
Was that here in New Hampshire?
That was in Panama City Beach, Florida. Hey, peeps in Panama City Beach,
There you
Redneck
go.
Riviera, hey. So then when I moved to New Hampshire, I got a job with a real estate agent for a year and a half, 2 years. I was his assistant, and I learned the ropes. Then I got my own license and became very successful in real estate.
Oh, wow.
A few years later, I got involved in network marketing too. Had a lot of success with that very early on, and loved the stage, loved to train, loved to be with the people, loved to see people like, oh, that's good, making notes and things like that. And so now with Mingle to Millions, I've done this. This is the third time I realized that I did it with. So here's how we learn. You do it, and you learn how to do it well.
Right.
Then we do it. You teach me. We do it together.
Right.
And then I go do it.
Ooh.
You do it because you're good at it. You partner with me and you teach me, and then I go do it.
You're talking about shadowing.
Shadowing, or it's mentoring.
It's mentoring.
Mentoring and coaching,
It is,
right?
absolutely.
And John Maxwell says this is how we learn. You do it, you show me how to do it, we do it together, and then I go do it on my own. And this is the third time that I've done this.
Wow.
Somebody else was doing it. I came in and did it with them. Bartending and waitressing, own my own bar. Hung out with the very successful real estate agent, became a real estate agent. Played with people in the network marketing field, understood people, personalities, communication, conversation, all that fun stuff. Played with masters in it. Bam, doing it on my own. It is the learning curve expressed in life 3 times for me that I can, and there's probably more, but it's just very interesting how that happens. It does work.
And with social media, as powerful as it is today, whether we like it or we don't like it, there are people out there that don't even want to touch a computer. And I have to tell you, you got to be willing to change with the times. You can't be stuck where the telephone is still hanging on your wall with the old dial pile, you know, the dial. And it's so true that there should be no excuses holding you back for personal, for business. There's a site that's called meetup.com. I talk about it a lot, because number one, it's free. You have no excuse. Number two, you put on your likes, your interests, personal and professional, and you get to be around, the word is new, like-minded people, so you can better your horizons. And you have really mastered that. I get to enjoy you in so many different ways. I get to watch you doing a stage presence. I get to watch you doing a video. And now you have workshops that people engage in.
Well, you know, I got to say something about social media. I fought it tooth and nail.
Yeah.
I had a Facebook page for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years. My assistant put it together way back when I had an employee, which it was a long time ago. And I finally last May or June, I finally said, oh, all right, I got to do this.
Right.
As any kind of business person, you got to have a presence. And I can't say that I'm addicted like other Facebook people might be, but boy, have I learned the power of it. Christmas Day, 9 months ago, Christmas Day, I made 3 phone calls, pick up the phone, talk to another human being, create some interaction, because here's what we do. We communicate, whether it's through email, whether it's through seeing people on Facebook, whether it's with our body language when we walk into a place, we communicate, and then we conversate, Okay, there's conversation going on, but the third part that everybody drops the ball, not everybody, but where the ball gets dropped is they're not collaborating. So I get on the phone on Christmas Day with 3 people, have 3 people sign up for my coaching and mentoring, made $11,000 on Christmas Day.
Oh, wow.
On Christmas Day. So when people say, oh, people won't buy houses in the holidays, or people won't do business in whatever month, excuses, excuses. This past July, people will say, oh, I can't do an event with you because it's the summer and people are gone and everybody's on vacation. Last July, you and I went to New York City for a beautiful event. I went to Baltimore for a beautiful mastermind event. Then I went to Chicago and had 3 events back to back. The last one was the Sage Summit with Richard Branson and several of my other good friends like Ashton Kutcher.
Hello.
10,000 people there. Don't tell me people won't. Your mindset.
Right.
If your mindset is they won't, guess what? Just like Ford said, if you think that you will, you will. And if you think you won't, you won't. Either way, you're right.
Amen. And you know what's really great is that there are times that I will find out about an event and I look at what the stage presence is and I'm intrigued. But you know what intrigues me more? The audience that they bring. Because you're not going to get to speak to the people that are on the stage most of the time. But knowing that you're in a room full of people, it could be 10 people, it doesn't have to be a large group, it could be 1,000 people, but you're all there for a reason called like-minded, to better yourself, to become more than you are today.
I am the seminar junkie queen, and I figured out a long time ago that the reason why is because of exactly that.
Right.
I love to be in the energy of other like-minded people. I thrive on it. I need that juicy, yummy conversation that inspires me and calls me forth and makes me want to do something more than who I am right this
How do we
moment.
stop being junkies and being actively, you know, there are people out there that say that they work so hard, and they do, but they're not working smart. They're working so hard, they're not working smarter. I want our audience to understand that whatever they're trying to strive for, that if you work smarter, then everything else gets balanced.
Let me speak on that because I did an interview just this morning with a good friend of mine that I've known for years who's also in the network marketing industry and has now rebranded himself and is making about $50,000 a month online with all kinds of stuff, teaching people how to rebrand. And I was just asking him today, I said, John, I said, what do you say to people who are having a hard time moving forward with the decision? And he said, you know what, Cami? He says, it's been my experience that every time I have a mentor, every time I have a coach that helps me to see that which I cannot, it really helps me. It helps me to move forward. And he even took it another step further. He said, you know what, people who pay attention. People who pay it forward. People who pay will play.
It's true.
And so, you know, find someone that has what you want, and ask them to go to lunch. You pay for lunch. I'm not talking. You don't have to spend $10,000, $20,000 on a mentor. You can just reach out, communicate, conversate, collaborate. Take them to lunch. Offer to take somebody to lunch. Pick up the bill for $25.
It's worth it.
And pick their brain and let them spew the yummy goodness. Just pick those nuggets up off the table. My God, they're dying to. They love it.
They do love it.
The more successful someone is, the more giving they are. Guys, I am telling you.
Time will either promote you or expose you. Well, either they will or they won't. And if they don't, then that's not the mentor for you.
I tell people all the time, listen, when you go to a networking event, and listen, a networking event, shame on me. Networking is not an event. It is what we do all day long, every day, all the time. It's simply communicating and being with other people. However, if you go to an event that is specifically for said net playing, go to the biggest dog in the room. Go to the top gal, top guy, the best dressed, the leader, the promoter of the event.
Go to the front of the room. Don't stand in the back of the room.
Yep. And I one of the things that I teach, and people really love this and they resonate, don't just go to the event, be the event. Be the event. I teach people how to be.
That doesn't mean to be a clown. It means be the event.
It means
part of the event.
Be the event.
Yeah.
Be the
Shine.
event. Don't just watch the TV, be on the TV.
Yes.
Don't just go to the event, put on an event. Even if it's something that you're passionate about, you want to save the animals, do some kind of fundraiser. Because when you're the fundraiser, when you're the community coordinator, when you're the promoter of something bigger than you,
right,
people notice. When you catch fire, people will come from miles to watch you burn.
Ooh.
Ooh, girl.
Wow. That was
And
profound.
that is why Fabulous Fierce and On Fire is hitting the
that.
road. And I'm going to wrap it on the car. I'm actually going to find a sponsor to give me a car.
Hello.
And I'm going to wrap Fabulous Fierce and On Fire tour all around the car and let someone like Lexus or someone that wants to be promoted sponsor that tour.
And that's a whole nother thing that you can do. We could all do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah, that's I love you, Cami, because you are the mojo that gets everybody. You inject our fuel, you make things happen, and you lead by example. And I know you now for 3 or 4 years. We've become very good friends. So I know the personal side of you. And everybody thinks that we're so glorified, that we have no problems, no challenges. And my golly, we do have challenges. That is so important for my audience to understand that you're looking at 2 women that definitely have a background. We definitely have a life. We have children. We have exes. I mean, we've got life going on, but it's how we leave our home and what we fill ourselves with that helps us go ahead and move forward.
I gotta say,
she's excited.
I gotta say, you gotta have a breakdown to have a breakthrough.
Ooh.
We would not be sitting here. We would not be doing what we're doing. We would not be promoting and helping people and coaching and teaching and learning and all these things if we hadn't had all that stuff.
We're not book knowledge. We're street smart knowledge.
Smart.
Yeah, and that
smart.
to me is worth.
You know, why do people spend tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars on a formal education when just some self-education will make them? What is it they say? Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune.
Amen.
Self-education will make you a fortune. And the fortune can be just bettering the world.
Yeah.
Like, if all you can do is get a good book, go to CamiBaker.com, look at Cami's recommendations. I got all kinds of books.
You do?
Yeah. Books and seminars and audios and videos and mentors that I've had and
It's
all
amazing.
That kind of stuff
Yes,
on there.
you definitely go out there and you let people know. Here's the information. If you want it, just click.
Yeah, people started asking me years ago, well, you know, you come from an addiction background. You had days where you wanted to die.
Right.
You know, you lived in a mobile home and you struggled.
Right.
How did you get from there to there?
Right.
What books did you read? What seminars did you go to?
Right.
Who did you start hanging out with? And little by little, I'd start writing them down, and before you knew it, I had a list, and I was handing it out on paper. And then there came a point in time where we actually got electrophonic, you know, and I put it on my website, and now I add to it. You know, I need to add some more books to it now. But when people say, well, I can't afford this, or I can't do that, or I don't have time for this, or blah, blah, blah. Look, go on my website, Darren Daly. I love Darren Hardy. He's one of my personal mentors.
Amazing.
I've met him. Love him. Monday through Friday, 3 minutes at a pop, just 3 minutes of audio or video that are just so inspirational. People say, I don't have time. You don't have 3 minutes?
That's right.
You don't have 3 minutes?
There you go.
To become a better person?
You do. Yeah, I know that I try to put out fresh videos, several of them in a week, and I'll put them right on the Happiness Jungle fan page on Facebook. And it's intriguing. People say, oh my God. To me, as I'm doing them, I'm also filling myself with positive affirmation. I'm also filling myself with the things that I need to hear. And I decided, well, why would I do it 2 times? Work smarter, not harder. I could give the message to my audience. I could give it to me. And then together we could go ahead and prosper. Because I know that when you mentor someone, the only way that I am a suitable mentor is if I've been through what you've been through.
You have to have that authenticity.
Yes.
I know, a couple of years ago, I invested highly with someone to be my mentor.
Yes.
And I did it for 2 reasons. Number one, I knew when I invested what I invested, I would pay attention and show up and be present.
100%.
And number two, I knew for me to be somebody else's mentor and coach and ask for them to invest in themselves through me,
Yes.
I had to live in my integrity and say, not only can you do it, not only should you do it, but I've done it, I continue to do it, and don't get coached by somebody who's not being coached.
That's it.
Because are they so supreme now that they know everything? Shame on them. get a coach.
Absolutely.
Have a coach get a
We
coach.
have coaches, we have mentors, and we will for the rest of our lives. There's always somebody that's better than you are that you want to go ahead and you want to either model after. Not so much do you want their success. I'm not talking about that big house, that mansion, but there are people out there that you're admiring. So if they are offering a mentoring program of any kind, and I mean, I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I have books. However you're going to fulfill and feed yourself, you need to do that. It's like going to an expo. How many times you go to an expo and you get a bag, and all of a sudden, we love free stuff. Well, like hoarders, aren't we? And we go and there's like 100 vendors, and we all, what do we look for? What's free? What's free? Oh, this is free. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take this. And then all of a sudden, this has a value on it, and you love it. Oh, how much is this? It's $1. It's $5. I want this. And you shell out the money. When you go home, what do you pull out?
The thing that you paid for.
The thing you paid for. Everything else is just in the bag.
Yeah.
So isn't that life?
That is
what
life.
you invest in, you conquer.
Well, and just like when people will say, well, if I have money, should I invest in stocks? Should I invest in real estate? Should I invest in gold? How about you invest in you? Because the more you invest in you, the more wealth and prosperity and abundance and fabulous fierceness comes to you, because you're investing in you. You are your greatest asset.
Right.
Stop worrying about what your kitchen looks like compared to the Joneses. Don't worry about all that. Invest in you, because when you invest in you, the rest just comes. It has to. How can it not? How can it not?
Exactly. So we talk about networking a lot.
Net playing.
I was just going to say that. I'm so glad, because I was going to say you no longer say networking, and I love that. I remember hearing a video this morning from you. A matter of fact, you just sparked me. In my morning, I start off with listening to some of my mentors. You happen to be one of my mentors.
And you are one of mine.
Well, I appreciate that. But I'm watching you grow, and I love it. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, what is Cami doing today? What can I learn from Cami today? Because you're always full of something else that I'm like, it's like a aha for me. Aha! It's like that juicy piece of candy that I just want to thrive on, you know? So when I listen to you, I listen to other mentors, like you said with Darren. He's amazing. I've also met that gentleman 17 years ago. It's amazing what comes back into your life, but just make sure you're throwing away the trash and you're keeping the gold. That's all I got to say, right?
You know, you mentioned having mentors and watching and all that. Doesn't it seem like the more you know you don't know, the more you know you need to know, and the more you know you want to know. In other words, the more that I learn, the more I realize I want to learn. Like it's, you know, it begets itself. And so I feel like I'm as much of a mentor and a coach as I am and want to be. I'm 10 times that a student. Because I feel like a mama bird sometimes going out and getting the worm and giving it to the babies, you know, and there's a mama bird feeding it to me. Right? Because there will always be something for me to learn. And the minute you think you know it all, that's the minute you need to pick up a book.
There you go. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, my God. Contagiously duplicatable by the process and by the eliminations. And I thrive on that. And I didn't become who I am today because I haven't thrived on it. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is because, you know, everybody feels that, oh, well, that's Cami Baker, you know, and now she's been able to accomplish this. Let's go 8 months ago. How was your business 8 months ago?
You know, my business and other things have happened in my life that at the time seemed like a breakdown. But they were a breakthrough, and they were a blessing. For example, I'm 48 years old. 2 years ago, all of a sudden, my clothes weren't fitting like they used to. I put 23 pounds on, right in here, right in there. A little bit.
Did that happen overnight? Did you wake up and all of a sudden feel like the Nutty Professor?
It did not happen overnight, and it took me about 1.5 years, 2 years to put it on, and it took me about a year and a half to take it off.
There you go.
And just a couple of weeks ago, I get on the scale. I'm at my perfect body weight. I didn't even know anything about fat percentage back then, but now I'm at a rockin' good body fat.
You look
percentage.
fantastic.
Well, and the point is that you know what? At the time, I was like, oh boy, this stinks. This really, really stinks. I was going up like 3 sizes in clothes, and I was like, oh, I swore I'd never do that. I'm so glad that it happened.
Right.
I am so glad that it happened because that makes me a better mentor and teacher. I have a gentleman right now that I'm mentoring. I love him, and he's got a little bit of a weight problem. And I could talk to him frankly and honestly and say, listen, you're now moving and shifting from just networking and going to the event. You're wanting to be the event. And because you want to be the event, let's look at how we're packaging ourselves, how we're presenting ourselves, how we're portraying the presence that we are being. We need to do something about that.
I like
that. Not only because of the way that he presents himself, but because of how it makes him feel about himself and his health.
Yeah.
And his health. And so within one conversation, because there's a lot of respect and love and trust there and genuine, authenticity.
Yeah.
I get it. I hired private trainer.
Yes.
I work with private trainer today, this morning. He went and got a private trainer, and he's starting his journey of taking the weight off. Accountability. And to be able to say, I've been there and done that without pointing the finger, you. Listen, we. I've done it too. I've done it too. And that's a beautiful place to be. And that's why you are so perfect to teach people how to be happy. Because if anybody can go through the types of trauma and the different stories that you've had and the books that you've written, and come out on this side and teach people how to be happy or inspire them to be happy or to just be around her makes you happy. I mean,
appreciate that.
And you wouldn't be able to do that if you hadn't gone through that desert.
That's absolutely true. Cami, I can't believe that our 30 minutes is almost up. And I want you all to think like a maverick. I want you all to realize that there is so much out there that you haven't even tapped on yet, only because you haven't met your right inner circle. So no one said that life was easy, but you can be happier, and that is my motto, and I know that to be true. If you could give one tip within 10 seconds to our audience for them to take action today, what would it be? 10 seconds.
It is not who you talk to or what you say, it's how you're being and how you say it. So remember that it's not what you wear, it's how you wear it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, and that all starts right here with your mindset. Mindset over skill set.
Excellent. Give them your information so they know how to find you.
CamiBaker.com. You can see it there on the screen, how to spell it. Cami Baker, you can email me, text me, smoke signal me, send a carrier pigeon, Facebook, any of that stuff. It doesn't matter. Believe it or not, I return a phone call. That's right.
There
I'm a
you
human
go.
being.
Well, everybody, we're almost up, and I got to tell you, the Happiness Jungle is thrilled about having the Maverick on stage with us. Take care, take charge, and be your own Maverick. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.